Admiral Marcus Hendricks stood at the observation window of the Earth Defense Command station, watching the stars. He had been doing this for 47 years, ever since the aliens first came to Earth. He was younger then, just a captain with dreams of exploring the galaxy. Those dreams died the day the Galactic Council made their offer. He remembered that day clearly. The alien ships had appeared in orbit, massive vessels that made Earth's primitive spacecraft look like toys. The Velcrin were the first to make contact. They were tall, with blue skin and 4 arms. They spoke through translation devices that made their voices sound metallic and cold. The Velcrin ambassador had smiled when he delivered the Council's offer. Earth could join the galactic community, he said. They would have access to amazing technology, trade routes, and knowledge from hundreds of worlds. But there were conditions. Earth would be a probationary member for 500 years. Humans could not vote on any decisions. They could not leave their solar system. And they had to pay tribute, sending valuable resources to the Council every year. President Adrian Cole had listened to the offer in the same room where Marcus now stood. Cole was a patient man, known for thinking carefully before making decisions. He asked the Velcrin ambassador many questions. How many species had accepted these terms? All of them, the ambassador replied. How long did most species remain in probationary status? Most never left it, the ambassador admitted. What happened if Earth refused? Nothing, the ambassador said, but his smile suggested otherwise. Cole had thanked the ambassador politely and asked for time to consider. The Velcrin agreed and left. For 3 months, Earth's leaders debated. Some wanted to accept, believing any connection to the galaxy was better than isolation. Others were angry, seeing the offer as slavery disguised as membership. Dr. Victoria Cross, Earth's lead scientist for alien biology, presented research showing that every species in the Council had been trapped in the same probationary status for centuries. None had ever graduated to full membership. Cole made his decision. Earth would refuse the offer, but they would not make a big speech or send angry messages. They would simply go silent. No more communications with the Council. No responses to their messages. Earth would close its doors and prepare. The galaxy did not understand. The Velcrin sent more messages demanding answers. Other alien species tried to contact Earth, curious about the strange humans. But Earth stayed silent. Years passed. The messages from the Council changed from curious to confused to mocking. The aliens began to believe that humans were cowards, too afraid to join the galactic community. Marcus did not care what they thought. He had work to do. President Cole had given him an important mission. While the galaxy laughed at Earth, Marcus would build a fleet. Not a small defensive force, but a real military power that could protect humanity from any threat. The work happened in secret, far from Earth where alien sensors could not detect it. In the cold, dark regions beyond Neptune, in the Kuiper Belt, humans built shipyards. Thousands of workers lived in sealed habitats, constructing vessels unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Dr. Samantha Pierce led the engineering teams, designing weapons based on human history rather than alien technology. The Council species used energy weapons, colorful beams that looked impressive but were not very effective. Their ships had shields designed to stop these energy attacks. But humans took a different path. They built rail guns that fired solid metal at incredible speeds. They created missiles with nuclear warheads. They designed kinetic weapons that used simple physics to devastating effect. When Pierce showed Marcus the first successful test, he knew Earth had a chance. Years turned into decades. Marcus grew older, his hair turning gray, but his determination never faded. He watched as Earth's fleet grew from 10 ships to 50, then to hundreds. Each vessel was tested and retested. Crews trained constantly, running battle simulations against Council tactics that Dr. Cross had studied from intercepted broadcasts. The galaxy continued to mock Earth. The Council's public broadcasts, which Earth secretly monitored, often included jokes about humans. Some species created entertainment shows about the silent simians who hid in fear. Children on alien worlds learned about Earth as an example of a failed species, too primitive to join civilized society. Dr. Victoria Cross watched these broadcasts with Marcus, translating the alien languages. She felt angry at the insults, but Marcus remained calm. "Let them laugh," he said. "Every joke they make, every insult they broadcast, makes them more careless. They think we are nothing. That is our advantage." President Cole visited the Kuiper Belt facilities many times over the years. He walked through the shipyards, talking to workers and crew members. He asked Marcus the same question every visit. "Are we ready?" For 46 years, Marcus gave the same answer. "Not yet." But everything changed when the Velcrin ambassador gave his speech. It was broadcast across the entire galactic network, reaching billions of viewers on thousands of worlds. The ambassador stood before the full Galactic Council, his forearms spread wide in a gesture of contempt. He spoke about Earth, calling humans cowards and fools. He said they were silent simians who tremble at the edge of their yellow star. He suggested that perhaps Earth's solar system should be divided among the Council species, since humans were clearly too afraid to defend it. The Council chamber erupted in laughter. Alien species from across the galaxy joined in the mockery. The broadcast was replayed on news channels, discussed on social media networks, and shared billions of times. It became the most popular content in galactic history. Marcus watched the broadcast 3 times. Then he contacted President Cole. They spoke for less than 5 minutes. When the conversation ended, Marcus turned to the officers gathered in the command center. "Signal the fleet," he said. "Operation Thunder Reply is authorized. It is time for Earth to speak." Captain Lauren Briggs sat in the command chair of the EFS Valkyrie, watching her tactical displays. The ship was moving through the asteroid belt, heading toward Mars. Behind her, Commander Kyle Martinez monitored the weapons systems, making sure everything was ready. They had trained for this moment for 15 years, but now that it was actually happening, Lauren felt her heart beating faster. The Velcrin survey fleet had arrived at Mars 2 days ago. 20 ships, all of them military vessels disguised as mining explorers. They had broadcast their intentions clearly. Mars now belonged to the Velcrin Empire. They would establish mining colonies and extract resources. Earth had 30 days to acknowledge Velcrin ownership or face consequences. The message had been delivered with the same mocking tone that had become common when aliens spoke about humans. The Velcrin commander had even laughed during the broadcast, saying he doubted the silent cowards of Earth would respond at all. The message was shared across the galactic networks, getting millions of views and comments. Most aliens thought it was funny. Some suggested other species should claim Earth's other planets too. President Cole had called Lauren personally to give her the mission orders. His voice had been calm but firm. "Captain Briggs, you will take the Valkyrie to Mars. You will confront the Velcrin fleet, and you will deliver humanity's response. The galaxy has mistaken our silence for weakness. Show them they were wrong." Now, as Mars grew larger on the view screen, Lauren could see the Velcrin ships in orbit. They were arranged in a defensive formation, but it was lazy and overconfident. They clearly did not expect any real opposition. Her sensors detected their shield generators were running at minimum power, saving energy. Their weapons were not even fully charged. "Commander Martinez, status report," Lauren said. Kyle checked his displays. "All weapons ready. Shields at maximum power. Hull integrity at 100%. The ship is ready for combat, Captain." Lauren nodded. She opened a communication channel, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Velcrin vessels, this is Captain Lauren Briggs of the Earth Federal ship Valkyrie. You have entered human territory without permission. You have made claims on human property. You are ordered to leave this system immediately." There was a long silence. Then the Velcrin commander's face appeared on the main screen. He had the same blue skin and 4 arms that Lauren had seen in history files. His expression showed surprise, then amusement. "A human ship," he said, his mechanical voice filled with contempt. "One small vessel against 20 Velcrin warships. Are you insane or just suicidal?" "I am neither," Lauren replied. "I am giving you one chance to leave peacefully. After that, you will leave in pieces." The Velcrin commander laughed. Other voices joined in from his bridge crew. "You have courage, I will admit. Foolish courage, but courage. Unfortunately for you, courage is not enough. Your pathetic little ship cannot stand against the might of the Velcrin Empire. Surrender now, and perhaps we will allow your species to serve us as laborers." Lauren looked at Kyle, who nodded. She took a deep breath. "You were warned. You were given silence as mercy. You mistook it for fear. That was your mistake." She closed the channel and gave the order. "Commander Martinez, show them what human engineering can do. Target their flagship." "Fire when ready." The Valkyrie's railgun fired. It was not a beam of energy like the weapons the Velcrin used. It was a solid slug of tungsten, accelerated to a significant fraction of light speed by electromagnetic force. It crossed the distance to the Velcrin flagship in seconds. The flagship's energy shields flickered, trying to stop the projectile. But the shields were designed to deflect energy, not solid matter moving at relativistic speeds. The tungsten slug punched through the shields like they did not exist. It hit the flagship's hull, penetrated 3 decks, and exploded inside the ship's reactor compartment. The flagship broke apart in a massive explosion that lit up Mars' orbit. The Velcrin commander's last words were a scream of disbelief. Then his channel went dead. The other 19 Velcrin ships reacted immediately. They powered up their weapons and shields, turning to face the Valkyrie. Energy beams lanced through space, striking the human ship from multiple directions. The Valkyrie's shields glowed as they absorbed the impacts, but they held steady. "Shields at 98%, Kyle reported. "Their weapons are not even scratching us." Lauren smiled. Dr. Pierce's shield design was working perfectly. While the Velcrin had optimized their shields against energy weapons, Earth had built shields that could handle both energy and kinetic impacts, and the Valkyrie's shields were 3 times stronger than anything the Velcrin had encountered before. "Return fire, all weapons. Show them what 47 years of preparation looks like." The Valkyrie unleashed its full arsenal. Railguns fired tungsten slugs. Missile tubes launched nuclear-tipped warheads. Laser batteries, powered by the ship's fusion reactor, cut through Velcrin hulls like paper. The human ship moved with incredible speed, its advanced engines allowing it to dodge and weave through enemy fire while maintaining constant attack. The Velcrin fleet tried to coordinate their defense, but they were not ready for this kind of warfare. Their tactics were based on centuries of fighting other Council species, who followed unwritten rules about how space battles should be conducted. Humans followed no such rules. Lauren targeted engines, weapons, and life support systems without hesitation. She used the asteroids around Mars as cover, forcing the Velcrin ships to expose themselves to her fire. In 4 minutes, 15 Velcrin ships were destroyed. The remaining 5 broke formation, their commanders panicking. They broadcast surrender signals, but Lauren ignored them. They had come to Mars to take what belonged to humanity. They had mocked Earth for decades. Surrender was not an option until they left. "Target their engines," Lauren ordered. "I want them limping home, not dead. Let them tell the Council what happened here." Kyle fired precisely, disabling the engines of 4 ships, but leaving life support intact. The 5th ship, seeing what was happening, turned and fled at maximum speed. Lauren let it go. 1 ship running in terror would send a better message than 1 ship destroyed. She opened a channel to Earth. "Admiral Hendricks, this is Captain Briggs. Mission accomplished. Mars is secure. 20 Velcrin vessels engaged, 15 destroyed, 4 disabled, 1 retreating. The Valkyrie suffered no damage. We are ready for the next phase. Marcus Hendricks appeared on her screen, and for the first time in years, Lauren saw him smile. Well done, Captain. The galaxy is watching. Earth has spoken. The video of the Mars battle spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Within hours, every major news network was showing footage of the Valkyrie destroying the Velcrin fleet. Aliens watched in shock as a single human ship tore through 20 military vessels like they were made of paper. The comments and discussions that filled galactic social networks were no longer mocking. They were afraid. High Counselor Tavarin watched the video for the 7th time in his office. He was Aiel Athi, a species known for their wisdom and careful thinking. His people had been part of the Galactic Council for 3,000 years, longer than almost any other species. In all that time, he had never seen anything like this. The way the human ship fought was wrong, at least by Council standards. There was no honor in it, no respect for the traditions of space combat. The Valkyrie had not even given the Velcrin time to coordinate a proper defense. It had simply attacked with overwhelming force, using weapons that bypassed every defensive measure the Velcrin had trusted for centuries. Tavarin's assistant, a younger El Athi named Soren, entered the office. High Counselor, the emergency session is about to begin. The Council demands immediate action against Earth. Tavarin nodded slowly and made his way to the Council chamber. The massive circular room was filled with representatives from hundreds of species. The noise level was higher than he had ever heard it. Everyone was talking, arguing, demanding explanations. How had Earth developed such powerful technology? Why had no one noticed their preparations? What should the Council do now? The Velcrin delegation was the loudest. Their lead ambassador, the same one who had mocked Earth just days ago, stood at his podium with all 4 arms raised. "The humans must be punished," he shouted. "They have committed an act of war against the Velcrin Empire. We demand the Council authorize a full military response. 500 ships to crush Earth and show the galaxy what happens to primitive species who dare to challenge us." Many Council members agreed. The Draxian Collective, the Karathi Union, and the Zentari League all voiced their support. They argued that if Earth was allowed to defy the Council, other species might follow. Order had to be maintained. Humanity had to be taught their place. But Tavarin noticed something. Not all species were calling for war. Some of the older civilizations, the ones who had survived for thousands of years, were quiet. They were studying the battle footage carefully, analyzing what they saw, and they looked worried. Before Tavarin could speak, the Council's communication system received an incoming transmission. It came from Earth, broadcast on an open channel that anyone in the galaxy could access. President Adrian Cole's face appeared on every screen in the chamber. Cole looked calm, almost friendly. He sat behind a simple desk with Earth visible through a window behind him. "Members of the Galactic Council," he began, his voice clear and steady. "I am President Cole of Earth. For 47 years, my planet has remained silent. Today, I will explain why." The Council chamber fell completely quiet. Every species watched, waiting to hear what the human leader would say. "When your representatives first came to Earth, they offered us membership in your community. The terms were insulting. We would have no rights, no freedom, and no future. We politely declined. You responded with mockery and contempt. For nearly 5 decades, you have treated Earth as a joke. You called us cowards. You called us primitive. You suggested our solar system should be divided among you like property." Cole's expression hardened. "You made a critical error. You assumed our silence meant weakness. You thought we were hiding in fear. The truth is much simpler. We were not ready to join your galaxy, so we made ourselves ready." The president gestured, and the screen behind him changed. It showed images of Earth's fleet, hundreds of warships emerging from the Kuiper Belt. The ships moved in perfect formation, their hulls reflecting starlight. Taverin felt his heart sink as he realized the scale of what humanity had built. Earth did not ask for war, Cole continued. We wanted peace, wanted time to develop on our own terms, but you would not allow it. You insulted us, threatened us, and finally invaded our territory. The Velcrin fleet at Mars was a test. They wanted to see if we would respond. We did. Cole leaned forward, his eyes intense. Let me be very clear about what happens next. If you send 500 ships to Earth, we will destroy them. If you send 1,000 ships, we will destroy those too. If you try to blockade us, we will break your blockade. If you attempt to harm any human anywhere in this galaxy, we will make you regret it. The threat was delivered without anger, just cold certainty. However, Cole said, his tone softening slightly, we do not want endless war. We want what we have always wanted, respect, freedom, and the right to exist on our own terms. If the Council is willing to offer real membership, with equal rights and no tribute, we are willing to discuss it. But if you choose war, then understand this. Humanity has survived ice ages, plagues, and world wars. We have fought each other for thousands of years and learned harsh lessons about survival. You do not want to see what we can do when we truly commit to conflict. The transmission ended. The council chamber erupted in chaos. While the council argued, General Christopher Drake was leading a mission on Proxima Centauri B. The Velcrin had established a listening post there years ago, a secret facility designed to monitor Earth's communications. Drake and his Marines had traveled there in stealth ships, arriving without detection. The assault took 12 minutes. Drake's team used tactics and weapons the galaxy had never seen. They moved through the facility like ghosts, neutralizing defenses and securing objectives with brutal efficiency. The Velcrin soldiers stationed there had no chance to mount a proper defense. They surrendered quickly, shocked by the speed and violence of the human attack. Drake stood in the facility's command center, broadcasting a message back to the Council. This is General Christopher Drake of Earth Defense Forces. We have secured this illegal listening post in human territory. The Velcrin personnel here are unharmed and will be returned. But let this be a lesson. Earth can reach any system, any facility, any target we choose. Distance is not protection. Your borders do not stop us. Back in the council chamber, High Counselor Taverin requested permission to speak. The room gradually quieted. Fellow council members, he said, his voice tired, I have accessed Earth's historical records, the data they transmitted when first contact was made. I suggest you all review these records carefully. What you will find is disturbing. He brought up images on the main screen. They showed human wars, weapons of mass destruction, cities destroyed. These humans, Taverin continued, have spent their entire history fighting each other. They have created weapons capable of destroying their own planet. They have fought wars that killed millions, and they survived. They are not a peaceful species playing at war. They are a warrior species offering peace. Taverin looked around the chamber at the frightened faces of his fellow council members. We made a terrible mistake when we mocked them. We woke something that should have been left sleeping. Now we must decide. Do we fight a war we may not win? Or do we finally offer Earth the respect they deserved from the beginning? The question hung in the air, unanswered. Ambassador Nicole Warren stepped off the transport shuttle and looked at the Galactic Council station. It was enormous, a massive structure that had taken centuries to build. Hundreds of different species lived and worked here, making decisions that affected billions of lives across thousands of worlds. For decades, Earth had been excluded from this place. Now, Nicole was about to walk through its main entrance, with 12 human warships floating in formation behind her. Commander Jonathan Webb stood beside her, commanding the escort fleet. The station's defense fleet has pulled back to the outer markers, he reported quietly. They are not trying to block us. Nicole nodded. That was smart of them. After the Mars battle and the assault on Proxima Centauri, the galaxy had learned that confronting human ships directly was a bad idea. Better to let the diplomats talk, while the military forces kept a respectful distance. She walked through the station's corridors with her security team, passing aliens who stopped and stared. Some looked afraid. Others seemed curious. A few appeared angry. Nicole kept her expression neutral and professional. She was here to negotiate, not to start another fight. High Counselor Tavarin met her at the entrance to the council chamber. He was tall and thin, with silver skin and large eyes. He bowed slightly in greeting. Ambassador Warren, welcome to the Galactic Council. I must admit, we never expected Earth would arrive under these circumstances. Neither did we, High Counselor, Nicole replied. We would have preferred a peaceful introduction. Unfortunately, the Council did not give us that option. Tavarin's expression showed something that might have been sadness or regret. Nicole had studied Ayalathi body language, but she was not entirely sure. Many of us regret how Earth was treated, he said. We hope today we can begin to correct those mistakes. The council chamber was full. Representatives from 847 species filled the curved rows of seats, all of them watching as Nicole walked to the central platform. A holographic display showed her face to everyone in the chamber and to billions of viewers across the galaxy who were watching the broadcast. She placed her hands on the podium and began to speak. Members of the Galactic Council, I am Ambassador Nicole Warren, representing the United Earth government. I come here today to present Earth's terms for ending the current hostilities. A Velcrin delegate stood up, his forearms crossed. Terms. You dare to make demands after attacking Council forces? Nicole met his gaze without flinching. Your forces invaded Mars without permission. They threatened Earth's sovereignty. We responded appropriately. If you want to discuss who started this conflict, I suggest we begin by reviewing your ambassador's speech, where he called my species cowards and suggested dividing our solar system among yourselves. The Velcrin delegate sat down, looking uncomfortable. Nicole continued. Earth's terms are simple. First, formal recognition as a sovereign power with full rights and privileges. Second, no restrictions on human movement or colonization within unclaimed space. Third, no tribute or resource payments to the Council. Fourth, reparations from the Velcrin Empire for their attempted annexation of Mars. The chamber exploded with voices. Many delegates objected, calling the terms outrageous. Others argued that Earth had no right to demand anything. But Nicole noticed that the older civilizations, the ones who had been watching humanity carefully, stayed quiet. They were thinking, calculating, wondering if fighting Earth was worth the cost. Counselor Ixthal of the Draxian Collective, the Council's chief military strategist, requested permission to speak. He was a large creature, covered in scales, with multiple eyes that could look in different directions simultaneously. Ambassador Warren, the Council must understand the military situation before making any decisions. May I present my analysis? Nicole gestured for him to continue. She had expected this. The military minds would need to explain the reality to the politicians before any real negotiation could begin. Ixthal brought up tactical displays showing the Mars battle. Observe how the human vessel moves, he said. It is faster and more maneuverable than Council ships of similar size. Watch how its weapons penetrate Velcrin shields. The energy dispersion patterns are wrong. These are not energy weapons. They are kinetic projectiles fired at relativistic speeds. He changed the display to show schematics of human ships. Human vessels are smaller than ours, but carry more weapons. Their shields are designed differently, protecting against both energy and physical impacts. Most concerning is their tactical doctrine. They do not follow the civilized rules of engagement. They attack engines, life support, and crew sections without hesitation. There is no honor in their combat style. No opportunity for surrender until they have already won. An ambassador from the Karathi Union stood. Surely our superior numbers would overwhelm them. What is one species against the combined might of the Council? Ixthal's expression showed doubt. That assumes we can bring our full strength to bear against Earth, which we cannot. Our forces are spread across the galaxy, protecting trade routes and member worlds. More importantly, this analysis was based on the initial assumption that Earth had perhaps 100 ships, maybe 200 at most. He brought up new images, showing the human fleet emerging from the Kuiper Belt. Intelligence now suggests Earth has over 800 combat vessels, plus thousands of automated defense platforms. They have built this force in secret over 4 decades while we mocked them. Their industrial capacity is enormous. The chamber fell silent. Nicole saw the fear spreading across alien faces as they realized what they were looking at. 800 ships, all of them more advanced than anything the Council had expected from a species they had dismissed as primitive. Furthermore, Ixtal continued, the human attack on Proxima Centauri demonstrates something deeply troubling. They can project force beyond their home system. They have faster-than-light travel that appears more efficient than ours. If we go to war with Earth, we must defend every Council world, every station, every outpost. They can strike anywhere. We cannot. The Velkrin Empire's military commander, Admiral Kreth, stood up. Unlike his diplomatic counterparts, Kreth looked pragmatic rather than proud. I commanded the retaliatory strike against Earth's asteroid belt operations 3 days ago. I brought 600 ships, the largest Velkrin battle fleet in a century. We were defeated in 2 hours. The chamber erupted again. Nicole knew about the battle, of course. Fleet Admiral Brandon Clark had commanded Earth's defense, revealing the true scale of human military preparation. But hearing a Velkrin admiral admit defeat so bluntly was shocking to many Council members. Kreth continued speaking over the noise. The humans had prepared ambush positions throughout the asteroid field. Their weapon platforms appeared from nowhere, firing those terrible kinetic weapons. Their ships coordinated perfectly, using tactics we could not counter. We lost 420 vessels. The survivors only escaped because the humans let us go. He paused, his pride clearly wounded. They let us go so we could return and tell you what happened. He looked directly at Nicole. Ambassador Warren, the Velkrin Empire offers its formal surrender. We cannot win this war. We should never have started it. The admission stunned the Council into silence. The Velkrin Empire, one of the most powerful military forces in the galaxy, had just surrendered. The implications were enormous. Nicole remained calm. The Earth government accepts the Velkrin surrender. We will negotiate specific terms separately. However, this does not resolve the larger question of Earth's relationship with the Council. High Counselor Taverin stood. The Council is prepared to offer Earth full membership status, with complete voting rights and no restrictions. That is not enough, Nicole replied. The problems with this Council run deeper than how you treated Earth. You have kept hundreds of species in permanent probationary status, taking their resources while giving them no voice. You have created a system that benefits the old powers while exploiting the new members. Earth will not join such a system. Taverin looked surprised. What are you proposing? Nicole smiled. We propose amendments to the Council Charter. All species currently in probationary status will be elevated to full membership. The tribute system will be abolished. New species will be offered genuine partnership, not servitude. The Council will become what it claims to be, a community of equals. The chamber exploded into arguments again. Nicole watched and waited. She knew this would not be resolved today or even this month. But Earth had time now. They had proven their strength. The galaxy could no longer ignore or mock them. Now came the hard work of building something better. 6 months had passed since Ambassador Warren presented Earth's demands to the Galactic Council. 6 months of negotiations, arguments, and careful diplomacy. President Adrian Cole stood in his office, reading the final version of the treaty that would change everything. The document was hundreds of pages long, written in 12 different languages to satisfy all the major council species. But the core principles were simple. The probationary system was abolished. All species in the galaxy would have equal voting rights. The tribute payments were ended. New civilizations would be welcomed as partners, not subjects. And Earth would join as a founding member of the Reformed Council, with all the rights and responsibilities that came with it. Cole signed the document with an old-fashioned pen, using the same desk where Earth's first president had signed the Constitution centuries ago. It seemed appropriate. This treaty was not just about Earth joining the galaxy. It was about changing how the galaxy worked. Admiral Marcus Hendricks attended the signing ceremony. He had retired from military service 2 months earlier, his life's work complete. Earth was safe. The fleet he had built was no longer a secret weapon, but a recognized deterrent that kept the peace. He stood in his dress uniform, watching as Cole completed the signature, and felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Dr. Victoria Cross was there too, along with Dr. Samantha Pierce and many others who had worked for decades to make this moment possible. They had given their lives to a project that most of the galaxy had laughed at. Now that same galaxy was copying their designs, asking for their help, and treating Earth as an equal. The ceremony was broadcast across all council networks. Billions of beings watched as Cole placed the pen down and looked directly at the camera. Today marks a new beginning, not just for Earth, but for every species that has felt powerless in this galaxy. We have shown that patience, preparation, and determination can overcome even the greatest challenges. Earth did not seek conflict, but we did not avoid it when necessary. We chose silence when we needed time. We chose action when we were pushed too far. I hope other species learn from our example. He paused, then smiled. But I also hope the galaxy learns the most important lesson of all. Unity is stronger than division. Cooperation is better than exploitation. And every species, no matter how new or small, deserves respect and opportunity. That is the future we are building together. The council station became a very different place after the treaty was signed. Species that had been kept in probationary status for centuries suddenly had voices. They proposed new laws, challenged old assumptions, and brought fresh perspectives to ancient problems. The older civilizations, including the Alathi and the Draxians, adapted to the changes with surprising grace. They had been worried about losing power, but instead found that a stronger, more united council served everyone better. The Velcrin Empire faced the harshest consequences of the conflict. They paid reparations to Earth and apologized publicly for their actions. Their military was reduced, and they were prohibited from expanding into new territories for 50 years. But Earth also offered them something unexpected, a partnership. Dr. Cross established a joint research program where Velcrin scientists worked alongside human engineers to develop new technologies. Admiral Kreth, the Velcrin commander who had admitted defeat so honestly, became an advisor to Earth's military, helping human officers understand council tactics and traditions. Earth began establishing colonies beyond the solar system. The first was on a planet in the Alpha Centauri system, a beautiful world with blue oceans and green continents. They named it New Hope. Within a year, 100,000 humans had settled there, building cities and farms under an alien sky. More colonies followed. Earth's advanced faster-than-light drives allowed them to reach systems that other species had considered too distant to be valuable. Humans spread across the galaxy at a pace that amazed everyone. They brought their culture, their technology, and their unique perspective with them. Other species asked Earth for military advisors and training. They wanted to understand human tactical thinking. wanted to learn from humanity's aggressive but effective combat style. General Christopher Drake established a training program on the Council Station, teaching alien officers how humans approached warfare. The classes were always full. Everyone wanted to learn from the species that had defeated the Velcrin Empire. But not everyone was happy. Some Council species resented Earth's rapid rise to power. They saw humans as upstarts who had cheated somehow, who had violated the natural order of galactic politics. There were protests, angry speeches, and calls to limit human expansion. Earth responded with patience and diplomacy, proving that they could be as good at politics as they were at warfare. Admiral Hendricks spent his retirement traveling. He visited council worlds, met with alien leaders, and gave lectures about Earth's preparation. He always emphasized the same point. Earth's success came from unity and determination, not from superior genetics or lucky circumstances. Any species could achieve what humanity had achieved if they worked together and refused to give up. 5 years after the treaty was signed, Captain Melissa Torres received an unusual mission. She commanded the EFS Discovery, a ship designed for deep space exploration rather than combat. Her orders were to investigate strange readings from a region beyond Council space, an area that few ships had explored. The Discovery traveled for weeks, moving through systems that had no planets, no resources, nothing but empty space and ancient stars. The crew began to wonder if the readings had been a mistake. Then they found it. An alien structure floated in the void, enormous beyond comprehension. It was a ring, thousands of miles in diameter, made of materials that their sensors could not identify. The structure was dark, showing no signs of power or activity. But when Torres sent a probe to investigate, the ring suddenly activated. Lights appeared along its surface, and something began to emerge from its center. Torres immediately sent a message back to Earth. "We have discovered an alien structure of unknown origin. It appears to be some kind of gateway or portal. Something is coming through. Recommend immediate backup and council notification." The response from Admiral Hendricks came 12 hours later. "Captain Torres, the Council has confirmed similar structures have been found in 7 other sectors. Ancient civilizations reported these rings in their legends, calling them the Gates of Darkness. Ships that approached them never returned. The Council abandoned those regions centuries ago. Whatever is coming through those gates, it is not friendly." Torres watched as massive shapes emerged from the ring. They looked like ships, but their design was alien even compared to Council technology. They moved with purpose, scanning the Discovery with unknown sensors. Then they began to advance. "Sir," her tactical officer reported, "those vessels are powering weapons. I am reading energy signatures that exceed anything in our database." Torres made a decision. "Signal Earth and the Council. Tell them we have encountered a hostile force of unknown origin. They are emerging from ancient structures and appear to be a threat to all species. Then plot a course back to Council space. Maximum speed." The Discovery ran, pursued by the alien ships. Torres managed to stay ahead of them, but barely. She could see that these new aliens had technology that matched or exceeded Earth's best designs. Whatever they were, wherever they came from, they were powerful and aggressive. The message reached Earth 3 days later. President Cole called an emergency meeting with the Council. For the first time since the treaty was signed, every species agreed immediately. This new threat affected everyone. Old rivalries and disputes were set aside. Admiral Brandon Clark took command of the combined fleet with officers from 20 different species serving under him. It was the largest military force ever assembled in Council history. Human ships flew alongside Velcrin vessels with Draxian and Ael-Athi cruisers in formation beside them. The fleet moved to intercept the alien invaders, ready to defend the galaxy. As Clark's flagship approached the front line, he recorded a message to send back to Earth. "We do not know what we are facing. These aliens seem to have been waiting for millennia, and now they have returned. But whatever happens, Earth and the Council will face it together. We have proven that cooperation makes us strong. We have learned to look past our differences and work toward common goals. That may be humanity's greatest gift to this galaxy, not our weapons or our technology, but our refusal to give up and our ability to unite others. The message ended as Clark's fleet engaged the enemy. The battle was fierce and difficult. The alien invaders fought with tactics no one had seen before, using weapons that defied understanding. But the combined fleet held its ground. Human resilience, Velcrin determination, Draxian strategy, and Aelathi wisdom merged into something greater than any single species could achieve. Back on Earth, people watched the broadcasts from the front lines. They saw humans and aliens fighting side by side, protecting each other, dying for each other. The galaxy that had once mocked Earth now stood united with humanity against a common threat. It was not the future anyone had expected 5 years ago, but it was the future Earth had made possible. High Counselor Tavarin recorded his own message, one that historians would study for generations. Earth stayed silent for 47 years, and we mocked them for it. We called them cowards. We called them primitive. We were fools. They were silent because they were preparing. They were patient because they were wise. They stayed hidden because they were waiting for the right moment to emerge. When they finally spoke, they changed everything. They challenged our assumptions, reformed our institutions, and ultimately, they may have saved us all. Let this be a lesson that echoes across the stars. Never mistake silence for weakness. Never confuse patience for fear, and never underestimate a species that has survived by refusing to surrender.